Ding dong merrily on high, you bunch of fucking munters. Another Christmas has come and gone, and now we're in limbo week. That glorious time between Christmas and New Year, when for the most part, no one wants you for nothing. And you can just go about your own business, i.e. sitting around on your fat ass eating Christmas leftovers. I say no one wants you for the most part because, of course, children just don't decide you should have the week off and they won't want anything from you. You're still on duty there, which is where your gift buying strategy comes into play. Did you buy them the most time-consuming gifts possible that need little to no hands-on dad work? Were you ahead of the game there? While I'm listing questions, how did you go at Christmas? Any family dramas? It's always risky when you bring together a bunch of people who only see each other once a year and force them into one spot to drink together. Also, when does a song stop being a song and become a carol? To answer these questions and more, I have the Pants Panel with me. It's the Pants Panel. Hello, fellas. Ben, Rich, Matt.
Hello, Stu.
Hello.
G'day.
Hello.
Hello, Richard. Hello, Matthew.
Hello.
Get stuck in burning questions.
Happy Yuletide to you all.
It is.
One of us is very happy this year. What's going on?
Well, I was going to say this will be coming out New Year's Eve, so has the Christmas spirit worn off yet? But judging by the Ben energy there, maybe not.
No, not at all. I've found this to be quite a joyous Christmas.
Energy.
Yeah,
The Benergy.
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 Now with more guarana. The yeah, this year has, well, it's been different for the most obvious of reasons in that I haven't had to work, and it's changed everything.
Yeah, well, let's not bury the lead. That's been kind of on all our thoughts here, that the man who's worked in retail for 20 plus years has suddenly, for the first time, had like a Christmas, Boxing Day, limbo week holiday off.
Yeah.
And not worrying about work. You must be at a bit of a loss as to how to occupy yourself.
Well, I've lost a day, which was good. Just in the fact that
You lost a day? Like you took
Well,
ayahuasca or something?
I tried to figure out what day it actually was,
Oh.
and didn't know. I just did not know what the date was or what the actual day of the week it was. And that was a tremendous 10-minute period in my holiday, just because that doesn't happen.
But hang on, did that worry you, or did that make you go, shit, I'm so relaxed, that doesn't matter?
Well, that was the outcome, was that I didn't have, that wasn't something that I needed to actually worry about. I was able to put that aside and go, I don't need to be anywhere. I don't need to do anything. I don't need to answer to anyone except my wife and children. But they were there with me, not knowing what time of day it was either, or what day it was. So it was the first time in a long, long time that I was able to not really know where I was and what I was doing and what the time-space continuum was up to.
I was driving near your house on Boxing Day, and I got to tell you, the temptation to drop in, knock on the door and say, look, I've got some things I want to return, was very strong.
Well, I did tell Matthew earlier in the week that I did wake up at 4 a.m. on Boxing Day with a little bit of a start where it was just sort of like, fuck, Boxing Day.
Roster.
He's calling in sick.
Yep. And was able to get back to sleep almost immediately, which was just, these are the Christmas gifts that I am so pleased to receive.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
All right. Man startled by having to do nothing. That's that story. Rich, how about you, friend?
Yeah, it's a quiet one this year because we're not around any other family members, so we're just kind of putting up with each other, which is swings and roundabouts. We found that we got a lot of craft gear, and craft gear is, as you kind of alluded to earlier, pretty labor intensive. So for some reason, people thinking that slime is a good present for a 4-year-old boy.
Oh.
Little hint, really isn't. It's just the most pointless
It's
possession
always
on
at
the
least
planet.
twice as watery as it looks on the packet.
And that's exactly right. It just goes everywhere. It just makes a mess, and you can use it once. And then he gets really upset with it, and you're like, oh, mate, this is what it is. So yeah, it was a nice Christmas. Very.
What do you
very
expect out of
low-key.
your slime, buddy?
That's it. Get over it.
Don't drop it in the grass like the outside slime.
But yeah, we're all incredibly crook in the lead up to Christmas, and then Tony's just copped it in the last day or two. So we're kind of hoping the lurgy gets out. We're heading off mid-January for a bit of a sun.
Yeah, I was
around the
going to
place.
ask. So just reminding everyone, you live probably, 10 hours away from your family? Drive?
Yeah, 11, 12. Yeah, 2 days.
So when did the decision to not involve yourself in Christmas happen?
Well, because we went over in October, we tried and kind of keep the trip over. It is very time, labour and financially heavy. So as we've been over in October and we saw everyone then, it's kind of like, well, don't really be bothered going over right now. And we kind of try and do averaging out about 3 trips every 2 years, which is okay. I can handle that. And then something else, like something more fun around the place, say Adelaide or Melbourne or something. This time we're heading down to Melbourne and flying up to the Gold Coast. So yeah, it'll be nice to head up there, and we're not getting in around the Sydney area, Wollongong area this time. But yeah, I'm not sure we'll back probably. Yeah, we're kind of planning out our years now, so we've got to kind of think, we'll try and get over for next Christmas, and yeah, we'll see how we go.
All right. Well, this may have fudged your numbers a little bit, not having a bunch of extra family members around. But where did we get on the ham count?
Yes.
We knocked over 3 pretty easily.
Pretty easily.
First ham of Christmas was late November, and we were umming and ahhing. It was a bit of a touch and go move, as I say, the illness leading up into Christmas. But we said, we're going to crack on another one.
Yeah.
And we keep saying, I'm completely over ham now. I'm not going to have any more. And then as soon as you cut some, everyone's around it and just munching on it. And it's good stuff. We've gone through the whole gamut of ham and cheese related.
Yeah, cut it really thin and cure it.
Yeah, that's right. Ham jerky. Did homemade ham and cheese quiche last night. That was pretty good. Bit of quiche.
How many good solid ham days did you lose to the sickness?
It was a good question. It was a good 4.
Wow. Oh, wow.
So you could have easily been 4 Christmas hams.
As I say, I think the third was a push. We did it, and I don't regret it, but it was definitely an extravagance we couldn't have lived without. But
when was the third purchased?
It was, as I say, it was purchased just before the illness set in. So
so what are we talking? 20th?
About the 20th. About the 20th.
All right, and not lured by the idea of post-Christmas discount ham. And does that still count?
I've fallen for that one in the past. I've written my anti-post-Christmas ham diatribe, and that won't be happening again.
Would you count that if you bought a Boxing Day discount ham?
I think it's still part of the hams of Christmas. I think Christmas runs up until the Epiphany if you want to look at the Gregorian calendar. So, that's not till the 17th. So I'm quite happy to say that anything purchased between the day the Christmas tree goes up and the Epiphany, the 17th of January, that counts as Christmas ham.
Was the Epiphany actually, I think we've eten too much ham?
I think that was the Epiphany.
I shouldn't have bought this last ham.
There is such a thing as too much ham.
Has anyone come up with a ham advent calendar yet? And
Ham vent
calendar.
We should organise that for next year, Dad Pants merch.
Yeah, I reckon if you had some really good stuff in there, like if you had a bit of good prosciutto and some nice Iberico ham on.
Well, you're in charge of the ham vent calendar, Ellis.
But it have to come in its own ham fridge as well.
Yeah, you have to get a fridge. It's a pretty
fridge.
We're already finding a little cost issue here that every ham vent calendar needs to have its own fridge.
You've got to pick it up. You got to pick it up yourself. No delivery.
Here's my question to you, Ellis. Did you gauge everyone's health and recovery on ham? So like every morning, did you go, cut some ham and just
Did
see
they
if
pass
people,
the ham test?
yeah,
just-
see if people
just-
were willing to eat it or like
Wave it
no.
under their
Basically,
noses.
Yeah, wave it
the
under their
sniff test.
noses.
Yeah, in the mornings you'll walk
Yeah.
around and just. Yeah, I think that we'd all just eat it in our sleep and not think about it. That's probably a contributor. So, no, the ham. It was definitely it is the litmus test of sickness at Christmas, and there was the. I'd love to see. I'll have to put together the graph of exactly the ham consumption and seeing that exponential dip from the 20th to the 24th, and then the rise back on the 24th. So we got stuck back into our crepes and croissants and
Yeah.
Ham crepe.
ham and eggs. Yeah, that's our Christmas Eve tradition. So Blackadder's
Yeah.
Christmas Carol and ham and cheese crepes, or I have ham and cheese mushroom crepes.
Jesus.
Yeah, there's no way that's not happening. So that was definitely on the cards. So it was a nice little turning point. Everyone was better then.
Oh, good. Yeah, look, yesterday being the 29th of December was when I had to admit that the ham leftovers were done. Two kind of indicators being that the look on my wife's face when I got ham out of the fridge for the fourth day in a row for lunch. And just the fact that trying to pick up the bottom bits out of the container they were in was like a bar of soap. Though. It was so
I was going to say,
slippery
yeah.
that I couldn't get a good grip on it. So that pretty much says that that's done, right? That's pretty much done.
Well, and also next year need better tongs. So you get some better ham tongs for Christmas.
There you go. Well, anyone
No, I
listening
think
to
that
this
if you-
who wants to buy me gifts, we've already got a ham advent calendar and grippy tongs, please.
Oh, what about the ham bag? This
Yeah,
is
you
my
need a
big thing.
handbag. Yeah.
Is that my wife has hidden the handbags. We had to, and she put them away somewhere safe.
Oh,
Is it with the Christmas stuff? Is it
And
with the
can't
tea
remember?
towels? Is it with the good linen?
You
that
couldn't
we
sniff
use
it
for-
out?
Like, fucking hell.
Yeah,
Let
come
me
on.
tell you. So
Alex.
now we've now got 3 handbags in the house, and I guarantee next year we'll be back in the same position again. So
I have the best image of everyone in the family getting sent outside, looking back through the windows, and Rich on all fours with nose on the ground,
truffling
trying
on,
to trying to
truffling
sniff out the
truffling his way to the handbags.
truffling to the handbag.
Oh god! All right. Well, yeah. Look, it did
Yeah.
hurt to throw out the last little bit of ham. It did hurt
Well,
actually.
Yeah, I was
here's-
going to say, are you cutting too much if it's getting gelatinous at the bottom of your container?
No, we got ham from both sides. That's the problem. We got ham from both sides of the family.
Oh,
Dueling
right.
hams.
Oh,
Dueling
dueling,
hams.
Well,
yeah, it was-
It is dueling hams, really. It is actually because all right. So we did the thing again that I vowed never to do of lunch with one family, dinner with the other family.
Oh, gee.
So it was my in-laws at lunchtime, and my father-in-law can be quite competitive. My dad is well known for making extremely flavorsome marinated baked hams at Christmas. All sorts of different glazes, marinades. It's really immaculate.
See, I just to interrupt, I thought I was over ham, but I'm not. I want to eat this ham.
I want to eat 10 ham.
Well, listen, maybe, maybe next year you can just factor in a little lunch at my house, maybe on the 27th, 28th,
Oh yeah,
and I'll make sure there's still ham.
Well, Boxing Day test lunch sounds pretty good.
yeah.
That is true as well. Anyway, we'll take those plans offline. So, yeah, my father-in-law goes, "Your dad making a ham this year, is he?"
Oh,
Yeah. He is. I haven't heard much about it. He goes, "All right, well, I brought a ham too." So he's brought a ham to lunch. It's it was a nice ham. It was perfectly fine, but it didn't have any extra treatment done to it. It wasn't
no,
wasn't
you just brought a
baked.
ham.
Just brought a ham, which is not to be
The
which is not to be
disdain.
sniffed at.
No.
Well, it's
Unless he lost his bag.
in which case you would be sniffing it out. But and the ham was perfectly lovely and beautiful. But just like don't be competitive about ham, number one.
Mm.
And don't bring a supermarket ham in and try and ask if it compares to bespoke marinated Weber ham.
no, there is no comparison whatsoever. So every year I long to do the baked ham, and Tony refuses. She says no. I get shouted down. So
Why? How's that work?
I don't know. She's got weird palate.
By
She
the
doesn't
third
like
ham,
weird
you're
ham
after a
palate.
bit of variety, aren't you?
That's
So
exactly
you-
right. She's got a weird hand palate. She doesn't like the sweet and salty. So
Oh.
if you do the honey glaze or anything like that, she's like,
Yeah, she's British, isn't she?
yeah, she doesn't care.
Matt, your
Yes.
Christmas?
Yeah, we had a lovely time. We don't do 2 in one day like you did, but we do. This year we did Christmas Day with Justine's family and Boxing Day with my family. And I guess Boxing Day was a lot smaller than it has been. It's my dad's side of the family. I think last time I was at Mum and Dad's, they had 65 people there.
Yeah.
And this year there was maybe 30 odd, which was much nicer.
Jeez.
I don't know if you're leading to people couldn't be bothered or they're dead.
No, they're not dead. I just think most of the cousins have now, because it was all my dad's family and then all the cousins
Oh,
and
I
then
see.
all their cousins' kids. But I think that there's hit a point where all the cousins were like, we live too far away. This is too much of a hassle.
Mm.
Some of them had to work, and I don't know. Yeah, no one's dead. That's the opposite. Everyone's kicking on.
Everyone's very much alive.
Yeah, so it's so that was much nicer. I just ate incredible amounts of food for 2 days straight, and yeah, it was a delight.
So usually you spend quite a luxurious long week and a half up there, but you were kind of in and out within 3 or 4 days, weren't you?
No, we had 7 days in total, but that is
Okay.
even less than usual. But I think that's the standard now. I think our kids just get over it too quickly, and
Yeah, getting
We all-
older.
well, we kind of on the way home realized that day 7 is usually when we hit the wall anyway, and always talk about can we just go home.
Now, okay, is that with the extended family? Just as
Yeah.
in, we've run out of things to say.
Yeah, we've run
Right,
out of
okay,
things to
kind
say. Classic. Like when I told my dad, "Oh, like we're leaving," and he was like, "You're leaving early," and he seemed a bit put out, but he had nothing planned. There was nothing to do. What have you got planned for tomorrow, Dad? Us to go to the beach without you, or us to visit other people without you? Like, I don't understand. Just likes having people around. But my mum's the opposite. Like, she will literally have bags packed ready at the door. Like, don't forget to take these. And you're like, we haven't left yet.
Yeah,
We
so
just arrived.
I'm having breakfast.
what's that about? Is that just it's done now, and now this is all dragging on?
Well, I think what we found is both Justine and my mums are very similar. They're very different in what they want socially. My mum's very reserved and she doesn't like parties, but Justine's mum does. But the day you're leaving, they are just pushing you out the door. So my mother-in-law will, as soon as you get out of bed, be in your room changing the sheets, putting them in the machine. And my mum is very similar. Just, all right, I've packed this up and this is all done. And don't forget this and don't forget. Like, okay. As soon as you say you're leaving, the sooner you're out there, the better it is.
Oh, that sounds great. I'd love that to be happening over on this side.
Yeah. So we sort of avoid the doldrums. That's what we called it. The time after Christmas when we stay too long and everyone's just tired and over it. And if it's hot.
I've got to say, I think you're very well placed geographically
Yes.
to family for that as well.
Yeah.
Like you're kind of far enough. Oh, we've got a long drive, so we've got to get going.
Yeah.
And so you've got to go. You've got that. I know it's not an excuse, but it is. You're far enough. You've got enough distance, but you're still close enough to enjoy.
Yeah. I mean, like driving up, and I did message you, like the drive up, we went all the way to Port Stephens in the first drive, which is usually 5-6 hours, but there was so much traffic because there were accidents that it took an extra 2 hours to get up there. So by the time I got up there, I was pretty well fried.
Yeah.
Well, look, an 8-hour drive.
Yeah.
Like you had 25% extra drive.
Oh,
So
well, the last bit is only meant to be 2.5 hours, and the last bit took like 5.5. So that was the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm guessing that even the joy of driving past the accident and rolling down the window and yelling out that you can't park there, mate. That didn't even That didn't even make up for the horrendously long drive.
Yep, no, it didn't. And even my kids, they got the shits because the second one that was caused by a crash, by the time we got to the end of the traffic jam, they cleared it all away. And so they were a bit disappointed they didn't even get to see what the accident was.
Well, Ben, we heard about your kind of week after Christmas, etc., but a running source of amusement for us has been the kind of stress levels you get to on Christmas Day.
Yep.
What was it like this year? Was there residual stress like muscle memory style? And I think you and I have the same thing which is the opposite that Matt has, which is no one's pushing anyone out the door. It's whenever it's time to leave, that is a very long drawn out ceremony.
Yes, indeed. It is. Yeah, it's the dance. It really is the dance of getting the keys in the ignition. So Christmas Day started with a bit of a hangover for me. We'd gone to my sister's house for Christmas Eve and set up for Christmas Day there, which was great. But we'd all had way too much to drink on Christmas Eve. And so when the kids woke at, I think it was about 7, which was pretty good. We all just sort of bleary-eyed made our way out and had a very lovely Christmas and a very nice Christmas breakfast. So we do Christmas breakfast together, and then the families separate, and one family goes north to Newcastle and we go south to Sydney. Yeah. And we went out to Panania, and we had a lovely afternoon. At no stage in the afternoon did I get that feeling of I need to go so that I can be in my own house and sit on the lounge and freak out about not being able to get to sleep because I need to get up at 4:30 tomorrow morning. That didn't happen, which was great. I did have that, oh my God, we've got to drive an hour and a half home. This is ridiculous and I can't drink. And so it was a really nice afternoon, except when I got to the point of finding a really nice spot on the lounge and just sort of went, this is lovely. I'm just going to close my eyes. And off I went. And about 4 seconds after I closed my eyes, in comes the auntie from the other side of the family that I'd said hello to like 5 hours previous, and she hadn't said a word to me. She came and she said, Ben, I just want to ask you, I need to buy an iPad. And that was pretty much the only thing. But I actually I saw the humor in that, and I thought that you guys would enjoy that small snippet of my Christmas Day. In that's all it was. It was just a very small snippet of my Christmas Day. The rest of it was enjoyable and filled with delicious potato salads and ham-related charcuterie. And it was lovely, and a lot of Rocky Road. We've had way too much Rocky Road. Yeah, that's what happens when you're in charge of dessert over Christmas. Is that you end up with all the extra dessert, which is okay.
Well, I think the thing about Christmas now for me and our family is that it does lose a bit of that magic when the kids don't believe in Santa anymore.
Yeah.
And it's just not that level of fun and cheer and happiness, etc., in the morning. And this is probably best exemplified on Christmas Day in our house by my youngest son coming downstairs at around 8, and not being overly worried. But because, we had people coming over, it was more a case of, all right, well, let's get the presents out of the way because it needs to happen before people get here. So we sent Dylan upstairs to wake his older brother up, and was greeted with "fuck off." So there you go. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas indeed.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Yeah. Ding dong merrily on high. So that set the tone for the kind of morning, really. But it is kind of a good snapshot of just the fact that it's all right. Well, let's just do the things we're supposed to do now, and then move on to lunch.
Yeah, get them out of the way.
Dueling hams.
Dueling hams. All right, Maddie, what else you got, fella?
I'll very quickly just say that, like a moment on Christmas Eve, the tradition in Justine's family's house is to watch the carols by candlelight, and we noted the last few years that the tradition seems to be watch carols by candlelight and just bag everyone out. So it's not as I never watched it growing up. I just have to stomach it being there now. It's cheesy and tacky and stupid. But it seems, the more and more people just complain that it's not as good as it used to be, that people have had way too much plastic surgery, that the clothes...
It's not even live now,
no,
I don't think.
The clothes...
Not enough Julie Anthony?
No, not enough Julie Anthony. Dennis Walters. Who the hell is that every single year?
Certainly not enough Judith Durham anymore.
No, Judith Durham, no, not anymore. And then...
Didn't she do the Christmas Carol version of the Christmas Carol?
No. So, yes, a few years ago, I came up the stairs to the sound of someone singing horribly and saying, God, who's butchering that song, and having angry people tell me the child singing was blind. So that was fun. How's
that affect your voice?
I know, it doesn't affect your voice. I mean, can't read the cue cards. But...
Oh, no. Weird. That was brilliant.
But this year, Violet said the same. She was watching something and she was like, oh, this person's a terrible singer. And then a few people said, yeah, she's got like Down syndrome or something like that. And Violet was mortified. And I said, come here, Violet. Welcome.
Yeah, welcome to the club. Welcome to the try and get full context before commenting club.
Yes. Make sure you know. But someone shouted, was like watching the screen, they go, what's this guy doing? He's not even singing. And I watched it for about 12 seconds. Yeah, that guy's deaf and he's signing. And they were like, oh, okay. So there was a lot of that. Just firing off. But that seems to have increased over the years. So maybe I've influenced them more than they've influenced me in regards to the carols.
You're a cancer, just slowly festering away.
Just until one day they're going to say, maybe we could watch Blackadder's Christmas Carol instead. And then I win.
That's right.
The other thing that happened, which is I need to get your input on, was when we drove back from the coast, we stopped off at Macca's. One thing we're getting good at, I have to say, is just how little time we spend at McDonald's. It's not a big to-do like it used to be, and going to the toilet, all that stuff. So really just stopped in to get coffee and whatever, frozen Cokes for the girls, and get back in the car. But when we were there, we saw a girl roughly Violet's age carrying a tray back to her table, just with the most sour look on her face, like classic teenage sour look on her face. I thought, look at that face. I wonder what happened. And I watched her go back to her table, and her dad, who was probably our age, was sitting at the table with no shirt on. And it was packed, like it was really busy. And he was sitting there with no shirt on. And
did he have a rig?
No.
Well, I was going to say, like, no business not having a shirt on.
No
obviously.
business not having a shirt on.
Okay.
It was hot.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying to Violet. I reckon he's just like, it's too hot. It's like 32 degrees. And he's like, I probably driving with no shirt on. Right. He had what could only be described as a poor body. Okay. And I'm not saying like he wasn't overweight, but he had no muscle tone.
He had kind of his boobs kind of dipping into the nugget sauce.
It's classic mid-40s, 50s dad bod. Just nothing to show off. Good like tan line on his arms, but just pasty as. Just walking around.
Tan lines don't make up for...
No, absolutely not.
Boobs and gut.
No. Just walking around in Macca's, just with his family. Just, no, I'm not wearing a shirt.
All right. Were there other kind of indicators of dead shittery? As in,
one thong,
mullet, that kind of thing,
It was
typical bogan traits.
No, it was like, and I was talking to Violet about it. that family looked like our family.
Oh,
So it was just looked like incongruous. Was just his
Okay.
wife and his daughter were sitting there, perfectly normal, reasonable people. He was just like, I'm not wearing a shirt; it's too hot.
maybe he's just 1 year older than us, and maybe in a year's time
I'll
we'll
do
just
the
get
same.
that urge.
It's a shirtless Christmas.
Get that urge in a freeway side eatery.
But it got people talking because he is now like he's a family legend now. So anytime we go on a drive and I stop at McDonald's, I'm certainly going to say, "Hey, Violet, shirt
Or no shirt.
on or off? What do you reckon?" Like without a doubt, it was so weird. It was so weird, and just like you said, there was no like, okay, keep away from that guy, or he's got no shoes on. He was wearing shoes and socks, no shirt.
Did he seem proud of it? Was he eyeing people up to see who was looking?
Just looked like this is what I do every time. This is just what I do. His daughter sort of had and his wife looked nonplussed, but his daughter certainly looked like
Head down.
Was he hairy?
You
reason
mean
I
like
asked,
he was overheated because he was so hairy?
well, also I have concerns. Like we already have enough hair around our food. Like taking your shirt off and having hair near hair near your food is a real issue as far as I'm concerned.
He couldn't be more average looking in every way. Hair, muscle tone, whatever. I'm going to guess like economic.
No discernible marks.
No
tattoos.
discernible marks.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like the you need to find this guy again. The quest for the most average
Beige
possible
person
man.
ever.
I know. I know. As I said to Jazz, it wasn't so hot. I was seriously thinking about just waiting to see what type of car they got in.
Yeah.
Waiting to see if he got back to the car and put a shirt on.
Run the plates. See where he's from.
It was just so weird, but it was just, I think it was. I think it was one of the few times where Violet was like, I'm glad you didn't do that. Oh, thanks. That's the joy.
Flash. Average man wears no shirt.
Completely average man wears no shirt in the busiest McDonald's of all time. It's bizarre. Christmas, you can do what you want.
That's right.
Sorry, I just had the thought. The only thing that maybe what he was doing was he had a ham in the back of his car and he was wrapped his shirt. He turned his shirt into a handbag.
Makeshift
Hand
handbag.
protection.
Yeah.
There we go.
Maybe.
There we go.
Average
You've
man
solved the
has
mystery.
has genius moment.
Yeah. All right. Well, now I know what I'm doing next year.
There's your clickbait. You'll never guess why this man's not wearing a shirt.
Average man is a genius. Ham is involved. Click here to find out.
Click, 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 click.
Yeah. Hurry up, hurry up.
Does Daddy like it?
Your daddy loves Old Spice.
I love the smell of my daddy.
This Christmas, give your men the clean, masculine scent of Old Spice.
I love the smell of Daddy.
And so does Mommy.
Give him the gift he'll love, Old Spice.
All right, Ben, you're going to finish us off with a question. Before we do, though, I'm going to have to throw questions at you because we have a spin-off pod on this feed now, which is Monty's back. He's back in potting with Dustin and his friend, Plaid Pants. So, they're just going to talk dad stuff, Canadian style, which is the same sort of things, just kind of more maple syrup flavored, I would imagine.
I very much enjoyed
Maple hemp.
the discussion of weather. That was very exciting. Canadian winter weather. Thank you.
More weather. That's
Tires.
a novelty for us. Yeah.
A severe lack of average men not wearing shirts, though, surprisingly enough.
In
minus 30.
yeah.
Minus 35, yeah.
Now that would be a story in minus 35 roadside Maccas. One of those kind of caps with the woolly flaps down over the ears and no shirt.
What keeps the heat in?
Yeah, but they had they expressed a bit of concern for you, Ben. They wanted to know that, like, they're concerned. They want to know if you're all right because the filling in the pool chat and the declaring that you don't care much about your lawn anymore has got people upset. Okay. Where are you at? And why did you say that?
Okay. I spent the morning last a couple of days ago, and I mowed my lawn, and took a moment after that to just enjoy the fact that it is quite a nice lawn. And I'm back on the lawn. I'm not taking as much time to care for the lawn. I'll just sort of let it do its own thing. But I'm not anti-lawn anymore. Like I'm not as off it as I was. The brown, like Maddie, you saw it.
Yeah.
You saw the strip.
I saw the brown strip.
The brown strip. And it's not pleasant at all, but it's still my lawn.
Can you not?
It's your brown strip.
Can you not just get that? You know that
This
green
strip is our strip. This strip is my strip.
Can you not just get that?
Telstra dug it, they really fucked it.
So I don't know if you've seen this, but if real estate agents are trying to sell a house and it's got a patchy ass lawn, they get green spray paint and they can spray up the lawn before they take photos. Can you not just spray this one strip?
Well, I could.
Or is that cheating?
I think it is cheating, but
It's not your fault.
I've had multiple times where I thought, I'm just going to dig the top layer of this off and just run a strip of buffalo.
Not your
It's not my
fault.
fault. It's not my fault.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
Not my fault.
Sorry, Wiggins, what are we doing? Getting a strip of what?
A strip of buffalo and just running a strip of buffalo up there. But
Right.
the problem is that I forget about the brown strip when it's not 37 degrees because it just sort of stays the same. And then you can't plant buffalo. You can't lay buffalo.
I was going to say,
summer. That's a ridiculous thought.
Isn't a strip of completely different grass just as
The
conspicuous
rest of your lawn's brown.
It is then, but then the buffalo will then grow over a 12 to 18 month period. The buffalo will then grow out and over and take over the rest. And most of it's buffalo.
Can't you just chuck in some runners? Like, why is it growing? Why is it growing brown?
Oh, I
See,
don't
this is what confused me more than anything else. Like, how long has it been since they put it in?
Oh, 10 years.
Holy moly! So 10 years later, you're still getting a brown streak.
Yeah, seasonal brown.
It's like one of those kids' haircuts with the line down the middle of it. It's like it's so well defined that just
all right. We're at risk of just repeating what we said last episode here. So
right.
but you're warmer on lawn now.
Warmer on lawn and the pool has come in very handy in the last week or so.
I would fucking think so.
And actually relates to the question that I have for you guys. So
okay.
I have a question around holidays and children. Right? Now, because I've started to get a little frustrated with the fact that I'm constantly having to figure shit out for my kids to do that doesn't involve them just sitting on their asses, right?
Yeah. Now, see, this is what happens when you're in retail.
Exactly.
This is your wife's concern.
That's right. So I have not had to deal with this on a consistent basis during the holidays.
The drip, drip, drip torture of your children.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Now, what do you do? Now, Ellis, you are, I suppose you're in a different situation in that you're landlocked, but you have some sort of, you have a lake or a river
Certainly
or
have
something.
a lot of river.
Definitely a lot of river.
We're not allowed in the river. The splash park adjoining the river is being flooded in. We have no pool. I hooked up some irrigation piping onto the trampoline, which is a homemade trampoline sprinkler. So homemade jamboree is exactly right. It's exactly the same. They close their eyes and that's where they are.
Did you use all the craft stuff they got for Christmas to make a sign that says homemade jamboree? Please, there's a day in that for sure.
Please don't buy any more craft things. We've got a good swimming pool actually, but it's pretty exy. It's like $20 for the family to get in.
Yeah.
And so, but it's like an indoor and outdoor pools and a wave pool and stuff there. and this is where, like, if we had a pool in our backyard, I'm just like, man, the kids would just be living in it. Like where we went for Christmas had a pool, and that was pretty awesome. It's a tough gig around here during summer holes because there's no kind of indoor play centers or anything either. So there's not even like a shopping center with a decent playground and stuff. So everything's very much catered to, well, it's all kind of just around your own house. Like everyone's kind of setting up their own little Ninja Warrior circuits and pools and sprinklers and stuff all in their backyard. So yeah, there's not much in the way of summer amenities, surprisingly, especially when the flood's in, which makes it very difficult. Yeah. So pool set's pretty good. Just saying.
I just encourage both my children. Every day I wake up and I go, what are your friends doing today? What are your friends doing? You want them to come over here? You should go over there. What do you want to do? I'll take you there. I'm happy to have them here. And that's the thing that works best for me, because otherwise it's just I'm thinking long term of by the end of the holidays. That's what
you can't just get in your car and go like you do.
Yeah. I definitely get over it. I get over all the questions. I get over the repetition. I get over.
I suppose you could get in your car and go, but that's going to have lasting ramifications.
Well, we have one car, and like by the 9th of Jan, Jazz is back to work. So she has the car. So unless I drop her off and pick her up, which I will do a couple of days, then I am again limited. So it's all about like just going. Wouldn't you like to have your friends over? I'm much happier if they have friends over, or even if they stay over and it's a sleepover or whatever it is. They're taking up all their time and what they want to do.
Yeah. See, Matthew, I think you made a very good point when we had a small discussion about this the other day. If it's a 3-for-1, like you've got that 3-for-1 option there where it's like all the friends come to your house for one night and you deal with all of them. And they basically just deal with themselves. But then there's the reciprocal sleepover or whatever it may be after that. And you get 2 freebies.
That's right. But Violet, in particular, has a friend, and she has never invited Violet over to her house ever.
Yeah, there are those kids.
Yeah.
There are those kids. I remember those kids from school. And
the friend moocher.
No, it's not even about mooching. It's about what's going on in that house that they don't want anyone there.
Well, the parents will tell you that they've got 4 kids so each kid has to share. So it's just they don't have enough space. As soon as you invite a kid over, then the other 3 go, we want to have someone over. I think the parents have just said,
that wrecks the imagining.
We just don't want to have anyone over here ever. Either that or they're in a cult.
It's one in, one out.
Yep. Yes, it's one in, one out. So
if you invite a friend over, we have to kick out one of your brothers and sisters.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
So that's always an issue. But yeah, it gets tricky. But with Noel, I'm always just let's do something.
Yeah.
Get them out. Get them in or get them out.
See, I was always reluctant to have people around to my house when I was a kid. And like it was kind of, Mum was very finicky about cleaning and stuff like that. Like we weren't allowed to make a mess or do anything, and everything was always incredibly tidy. And so it was a lot easier to go around to my mate's place where they didn't have that kind of pressure. You can go over and have fun and make a mess and clean it up, and everything was tickety-boo. So that was always, not that I didn't have friends over. They did come over, but it was never kind of the place to be type thing for the neighbourhood. Whereas, I was always out at other friends' houses and stuff all the time. And
we go
over
always out.
If we're talking,
we were always out on our bikes. We weren't even really at
that's what I was going to say. If we're talking like primary school age, you're never at anyone's houses. You're just
that's right. Nah. Or you're always in transit between people's houses.
Well, that was it. Oh, is someone home? I don't know.
Whoever's stocked up on Sunny Boys,
that's right.
That's the house we're going to.
Yeah. Oh, my mate's brother used to work at KFC, so they always had ample leftover KFC in the fridge. That was always the lunchtime stop. Oh, it was amazing.
That sounds good.
Ample chicken.
12-year-old boy, ample chicken. Also stop at $5 or you can eat Pizza Hut for lunch on the way back to the beach. Those halcyon days.
Again, this is the thing of like this is in the school holidays. You're still only describing one day.
I know.
Yeah.
But, and also the way Rich was talking there made me feel like he could easily take his shirt off in a restaurant, taking.
I was sitting there
$5
going,
Pizza Hut.
where was I? Where was I on 2 days after Christmas?
I was in a ham coma and didn't have a shirt on in a McDonald's.
I had a whole day without it. I had a whole day without my shirt on the other day, and I was just like, this is a life. I want to live my life like this everywhere. And I didn't leave the
So
house.
that's what I
didn't
mean.
want
That's why
anyone-
the dad that's probably what he did. He was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I was at home with my shirt off and it felt great. Why don't I just do that all the time?
We go, it's only Macca's. It's not fancy.
No.
So yeah, I think for my 14-year-old, it's very difficult. But I find if you surprise him with activities, he's much more interested in doing it than if you put a lot
plan them out. Yeah.
plan them out well in advance. Because contrariness, like if anything you plan is met with contrariness, but if it's spur of the moment or seems to be, then that's spontaneous and fun, and I'll get in that. Whether it's a trip, to go play basketball or cricket or go and do this or go and do that. If you just spring it on them and say, we're going now, then there's more interest than if you say, right, tomorrow, we're thinking of going and doing this, and we'd really like you to come along, and I think you should because you don't get enough sunlight and, maybe not enough exercise. I know I know it's your holidays, but you still got to look after yourself a little bit. So let's all go and do this fun activity together as a family.
When did the canteen lady become the fucking matriarch of your family?
I got an idea why he doesn't want to go be seen with you.
Well, shirt's optional.
That's the title.
Yeah, but do you find that with your older kids, if it's too formalized, then there's pushback?
Louis and Rose are in for everything. Like Rose is literally every morning she wakes up and goes, "Can I go next door?" Because there's 3 boys next door that just want to play all day.
Yeah.
But there's also a 12-month-old baby that obviously we have concerns about,
Noise.
keeping awake.
Julie got drugs. Or...
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
she gets
She's
the
a
good
bad
stuff.
influence.
But to be fair, like yelling and screaming next door is not going to be that much different.
True. Rose isn't that much of a level increaser when there's already 3 boys in the house running around being crazy.
Yes.
But Harves, you're right. Harves is the one. If I say to him, "Bang, right, we're going to the beach," he's like, "Okay, I'm in." But as soon as you give that, this is what we're thinking about doing, he's like,
Yeah.
Yes.
let him.
If you go out, I can just
I'll
be
just
on
stay at
screen.
home.
I'll just be on screens unmonitored.
Yeah, my eldest does the thing that really gets to me is her saying, "I'll let you know." And you're like, sorry?
My people will get back to your people.
Yes,
and-
exactly. I'll think about it and I'll let you know later what I've decided.
Excuse me, daughter.
Yeah, that's not how it works. The other day, I
Excuse me,
went
daughter.
off
I've
at her
just
about
got.
it.
Let me just check here. Hang on. Let me just look through this. Oh yeah, you're doing fuck all.
I don't know if something else is happening, and you're like, nothing's happening. Nothing else.
It would
is
have happened
happening.
by now.
Yeah. So that's what gets me with when she does that. It's just like, I'll let my people know your people. Check my social calendar. No, you won't.
Yeah, thankfully though, with Dylan, like, he's still like really into reading. He doesn't have a phone, so he's not stuck on that all day.
Mm-hmm.
He's still really into reading, does a lot of reading, really into Lego. So he got given the biggest, fattest piece of Lego you can get for Christmas.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a good week or two. Of
what is it?
Screen time.
What was it? Yeah, I'm excited.
It was the Batmobile from the Robert Pattinson Batman movie.
Nah. It's like the Technic one with all the.
Well, it's still Lego, so it's not. Oh yeah, it is
okay.
Technic. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's massive, and you put batteries in it, and it moves. It's got all the working parts and stuff. So that
yes,
I was very pleased to see that gift given, because he doesn't really want anyone helping him too. He takes pride in bringing it back to my opening statements of time consuming plus no dad needed.
Yep.
Equals good for me.
Yes.
No dad needed, which should be
Oh.
on like packages.
Yeah.
Oh, should be on every package for everything ever.
Well, yeah, there should be a dad needed and a no dad needed.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
need to
Right
be-
next to the 2-person lift sign.
Yep.
Dad, no
NDA.
dad. Yeah.
Yep. I've installed a full length mirror already. I've got to put up LED lights. I've got to do something else later today.
And LED lights. Harvey got LED lights 18 months ago, and I still haven't put them in.
Ah,
So did that
Dad needed.
Yeah, dad
dad
needed.
needed
Dad needed,
another dad.
yeah.
Another dad.
Another
needed.
dad.
That can be
That's
another
what-
sign.
Hire
Different
a
dad
dad.
needed.
Some other dad needed.
Like literally this craft stuff. So they got this rock painting kit. It's a bloody rock and paint. Anyway, the paint was in these tubes
Oh,
and like with like a nozzle thing. So you twist the nozzle thing off, but then there's another
Yeah.
cap which
the
sits
cap.
flush with the thread on the nozzle lid.
Yeah.
And so in order to open it, you had to like kick that off, and it was recessed as well inside down the nozzle. So it did not look like there was a lid on it. Okay.
Didn't it
look
have
like
the
there was an
lid?
additional cap.
Didn't it
So
have
George sits there, looks at it and goes, "It's not working." Squeezes the bottle.
Oh, no,
The
of
cap
course.
goes flying off,
Yeah.
and the paint splattered all over himself, the back of the wall, the back of the lounge,
Oh
the
god.
windows. And I was to see there, he was covered in blue paint, and I'm just like, "What the hell? Why do people buy this stuff
Yeah.
for my children?"
Why is,
NDN on everything. They're labeling.
why is George working in the cafeteria with me too, by the way? I think that's great. I think we've stumbled across some really great ideas here. We hand vent calendar
Mhm.
Advent calendar. Number one.
and some sort of, instead of hire a hubby kind of business, an extra dad needed business where you can call in an extra dad for a small fee, particularly during limbo week when you're not asked to
Yes.
be fixing or setting up Christmas presents.
Exactly.
Beautiful. Did that answer your question, by the way, re screens and children and what the fuck to do with them?
Well, I think it was a yes. Let's go with yes. I think be better at buying Christmas presents is definitely like have the forethought
Yep.
to understand the no dad needed concept in
So there's that, and also pretend you haven't planned anything. Pretend
Yep.
everything is spur of the moment.
Spontaneous.
Yep.
So what do you do for the teenagers then? So this is what kind of scares the shit out of me moving forward. Like, is it all just devices and shit for devices, or is there something else
Oh, for
that they're
presents,
still into? Yeah, well, just in general, like, what occupies them? Do they just
clothes and
literally
cash.
shit?
Yeah,
Sorry?
clothes, cash.
Clothes and
but
cash.
Clothes and
also,
cash.
my mum has now taken to giving all the children movie vouchers so that
Mm.
she can then take them all individually on a day in the holidays to the movies.
Yeah.
But that's, so there's 3 days planned. And the kids love that. So I'm hoping to start moving into that realm of buying them experiences rather
That's
than
cool.
Yep.
product in the
Yeah.
next couple of years.
So for the last 2 years, we've said to everybody for our oldest, just give him cash, because the previous Christmas is because he had a huge debt to us
Mhm.
that he wanted to pay off
Oh, yeah.
for his gaming computer. And this time round, it's just because literally anything he wants can only be sourced online for gaming stuff, really.
Right.
So, but I don't want to do that next year. I don't want to tell people just give him cash because that's a bit shit. And he's just so fussy. Like, it's really hard to give people a clue what genre to be shopping in.
Yeah.
And then B, like, explain in detail what's going to be acceptable within the fussy stubbornness boundaries. So I'm setting myself up for some annoyances next Christmas, I think.
Yeah, it's tricky.
But to answer your question, Rich, sorry,
Hmm.
it is mostly for boys anyway. I don't know about girls, but what can I do that's gaming or weapon related?
Yeah.
Weapons.
Yeah.
Are we
Well,
at like
that's it. Do you
samurai
try and
sword
introduce
level?
Some kind of new hobby or something like.
He wants to
has
get
that kind of been on the card? So
what's that? Sorry. weapons.
Like, have you? Yeah, well, have you thought about, is there still that thing of, I'm going to get this kid doing something different, or is that, as you kind of alluded to already, I suppose, that he's pretty fussy, so you're not going to go and dump a whole heap of cash on a new hobby, which he may or may not be into.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
And it's fussiness plus the contrariness. So if one of us has come up with the idea and have organized it and said, here you go, do this because we think you like it, then that's going to be an instant no. And this isn't me just bagging out my son particularly. I think this is like
not at all.
Generally 14-year-old behavior.
I'm sitting here going, I think that I'm still a 14-year-old boy based on this conversation. And I'm sure my wife would be very, very in agreement with the fact that I've got that exact kind of mentality. So,
well, but I think, you know what? I think I agree with you as well. Like, I would much rather, be so fussy that people only give me cash. But I still feel a need to go through the social pretense of being happy with whatever's given.
Yeah.
Which a 14-year-old doesn't tend to have.
Yeah. Can you kind of get to the stage where it's just more crap? This is my kind of thing. Like, just buying crap for the sake of crap. Like, it just feels really...
exactly. And that's why we got given a voucher for quite a nice restaurant, and I was over the moon with that. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's
what
awesome.
I want.
That's a great that's a great gift.
Yeah. But they need to find somewhere to store this.
Yeah, 14 and 11, we've hit that point where very little of what they get is crap.
Yeah.
It's what they actually want. And both my kids, that I think Violet started doing it, was that she would do like a Google slideshow of all her presents and where you can get them from. And then you could send that to all the family. And so Noelle saw
presentation.
that, and she was like, I'm going to do that too. And so you would just see
she's
it.
got music in the background.
That's amazing.
That would be
Star Wipes, transitions. And,
lovely.
Commentary.
Animation.
If you can't find it's in the black, I'll take it in the purple.
It just makes everything so much easier just to go, all right.
Yeah. So is it done as a formula? So one slide's a present, and the next slide is plus, next slide's a present, and then we get through them all to an equal sign, and then a smile at the end.
Yeah. Happy face.
Yeah.
Thank you for
that's
listening
amazing.
at the end. Yep.
That's really good. Well, I mean, I might wrap this up by with just a little, I guess, piece of advice for next year. I'm sure you'll listen to this and remember this advice for next year, because why wouldn't you? But don't be that guy at Christmas. Both my brothers were that guy at Christmas.
Mm.
And I love them, and I don't want to sound unappreciative, but it's unnecessary social pressure. So my youngest brother now lives in Melbourne. He, for whatever reason, I can't remember what it is, he couldn't come up for actual Christmas. And so I said to him, let's not worry about getting each other anything. You're not coming up. So why worry about that extra gift when you're not even going to be here for Christmas? He went fine. And then we get up to my parents on Christmas Day, and he sent presents up for everybody. So he's agreed. Verbal agreement. Actually, no, written agreement. It was text message.
Contract. Binding contract, yes.
So, now there's presents for us. We ain't got them anything. I feel awkward. My other brother, fantastic. Lovely bloke. Always gives good presents. We all kind of give each other presents in the $50 to $70 range, usually.
Mm.
Right.
He's gone into the $100 this year. Clearly, because, we can see the vouchers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was no discussion of upping the rate and the value. And so, our stuff kind of looks a bit pissy that we got them compared to what they've spent on the kids particularly.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So that's more Christmas awkwardness.
We've stopped giving like birthday and Christmas presents and stuff like that, and just whenever we happen to see each other, we'll give a gift and
Well, I had
and it's very low key. Like, it's not.
I had a beer with my mate Kenny yesterday, and his family do the Kris
Yeah.
Kringle.
Yeah.
Oh, but how do you do that? How do you get everyone on the same page for Kris Kringle? How do you get everyone in
We-
extended family to all
We
agree?
do that.
See,
We
that-
do that. So on Justine's family at Christmas, we
Yeah.
do adults do that,
Yeah.
and the kids do it as well. So the kids, there's 6 of them, and they
Okay.
buy each other a present.
Okay. So who came up with this? How
Yeah.
did they get everyone on board? Because I need to know, because this needs to be a thing.
Well, I think Justine's mum was like, well, instead of like buying everyone a present, that's stressful, blah, blah, blah. I will just do Secret Santa. It's not secret at all. She just sends out, here you go. I've drawn, here's the
Here's the
list. Who's
list.
got who?
Oh, okay.
People tell each other what they want. Juz had her mum this year, and her mum, for once this year, said, you think of something to get me. And Juz was like, that's crap. I like people telling me these are exactly what I want. So, and she said, no vouchers. But at some point, her dad said, just, don't even get me a voucher. Just put $100 in my account. So that didn't go
Merry
down
Christmas.
well. Yeah, Merry Christmas to that. Juz said, a couple of years ago said, you know what, I don't want a present. I will choose a charity of my choice, and then you can pay $100 to that. Her dad said nah, and gave her the $100 to put in herself.
Also telling them the amount they have to put in is a bit much, isn't it?
So that's what they do, and it works. It's much easier in buying. It's much easier. You don't have to buy presents for all the cousins and things like that.
Yeah.
But do you have it like so that it's $100
Yeah, that's
limit?
usually
Is
the
that
deal, yeah,
or is
$100.
there so just $100 a gift? So
Because you're spending $100 on a present.
Then I'd rather get get a $100 gift than
Yeah, exactly.
$20
For
gift. which I'm
sure.
gonna
Yeah.
Like,
use
I'm not
to chuck out.
arguing that it works. I want to know how the hell you get this across the line.
Oh, I don't
Like,
know. Her
'cause
mum's
the
very
people-
persuasive, I
Yeah.
guess. Everyone was just like, sure, let's do that.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
I don't
But how
understand
do I
Lachlan. It worked pretty easy. I don't think there was much pushback at all. I mean, there was.
do you
one
put
year,
foot
but
down? Do I just put foot down?
I don't think
Because
she
the
even
pro-
needed to put her foot down.
Yeah.
But the
Just
problem
do it.
is that
If
All
you're
right,
the
let
host,
me-
then
Let me just
Just
point
do
out
it.
one thing. Yeah, the host is probably the key. But there was one year where, and I won't mention who, but where one person said, I don't want to be in the Secret Santa, and then went and bought presents for everyone.
Oh.
And then no one bought presents for them because they weren't in the Secret Santa. So then they stood out on the deck and cried.
No!
Then they had to be spoken to act like more of an adult in an adult environment.
that's unbelievable. So
Wow.
So they broke
That's
away
awesome.
Yes.
and outside expected a present from everyone outside the
Bought presents
Kris
for
Kringle
everyone.
system.
Yes, and then was sad because no one had bought them a present.
Oh God! See, like I wouldn't even get to that level of complication.
No.
I just wouldn't even get it because I've got to convince people with no jobs
just feels like Super League.
who had nothing to do with
Starting
it.
my own better
Super
present
League
gift
Super League of
competition.
presents.
So
No
yeah,
one bought me a
pretty
present.
tricky. Yes, that's all. That's
right.
always been pretty tricky.
I
yes.
might leave my frustration with it there, but
Yep.
Don't be the last minute Christmas switcher upper because it causes awkwardness.
Yeah.
Like there are conventions to follow, and I know I'm contradicting myself in that I want to completely change our conventions, but if it's mutually agreed beforehand, you can't backtrack.
No.
Anyway, all right. On that kind of slightly odd note,
Yes.
that's it for 2022. Another great year of chatting to you blokes. And look, who knows what next year will hold, both in podcast ways and just life. But get in there, rip in. Don't fill your pools. Treat your lawn with love.
Treat each other with love.
Yeah. Don't backtrack on agreements that you've made with your family about.
Getting very specific.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, we'll leave it there. But thanks everyone for listening, and have a great new year. Bye.
Bag your hams, people.
Wrap your hams in your shirts.
Bye.
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 This is an Angry Chimp podcast.
Daddy.